Nash equilibrium. First, how to do the normal form, then how to get the dominant strategy, and also how to get the Nash equilibrium. So this was discussed last time. So we said that the normal form had 500 for AA. It had, please let me know if you notice that my screen is not showing. Okay, 650 there, we had 650,0 here, and then lastly we had 100,100 there. We said that those were our possible, those were our possible strategies. So we said that there is a dominant strategy for each, right? We said that BB was the dominant strategy for both players A and B, so player 1 and player 2. And we said that a dominant strategy is a strategy that is going to guarantee the highest payoffs to a player regardless of the actions taken by the other player, right? We also said that there is a Nash equilibrium for this game, right? We also said that there is a Nash equilibrium for this game. Okay, and we also said that Nash equilibrium is a situation or condition where when you're at that particular point, there is no inertia for one to move away from that particular point. In short, no player can maximize his payoffs by unilaterally changing his strategy, given the strategy adopted by the other player. We said that is a Nash equilibrium. So we're just revising, and then so today we are just trying to continue from where we ended last time. So D actually. D, rank strategy pairs by aggregate payoffs, highest to lowest. So right now we are just, so for D we're just ranking. Okay, so for this one we are just ranking the strategies. Okay, we're just ranking the strategies. Okay, from highest to lowest based on their aggregate. Okay, so we know that we have got about 4 possible strategies. There is AA. Okay, so there is AA, and we know that strategy AA is going to equal, from what we discussed last time. Remember, AA is a situation where player 1 goes for A, player 2 also goes for A, right? That's a situation where player 1 goes for A, player 2 also goes for A, and we said that there the payoffs are 500 for each. Now aggregate means that we're going to add the 2, so 5, that's 1,000. Okay, for now we're just trying to get the aggregate, then we're going to rank them. So for AA we know that the aggregate is 1,000. There is another possible set of strategy that can be adopted by by player 1 and player 2, which is AB. Okay, so that's a case where player 1 goes for A, player 2 goes for B. Okay, and from what we discussed last time, we know that it's such a case there, 0,650. Okay, so we have 0,650. Aggregate is summing up the 2, which is going to give us a 650. Another possible strategy is BA, which is just equal to AB. You see, so it's a case where player 1 goes for B, player 2 goes for A, so it's BA. So BA is there. 650,0. Okay, so I've got 650,0. Aggregate of this is giving us a 650. And lastly, there is a possible set of strategies which is BB. So it's a case where player 1 goes for B, player 2 also goes for B. So BB, player 1 goes for B, player 2 goes for B. So yeah, BB is a case where it's a case where player 1 goes for A, player 1 goes for A, player 2 also goes for A, which is 100-100, and 100-100 is giving us so 100-100, which is giving us aggregate of 200. So now, given these, the question is, can we rank these strategies based on their aggregate from highest to lowest? So we know that the 1000 will be the first one, followed by these two, then followed by this one here. Okay, so the ranking will be that first one based on aggregate will be AA, okay, which is giving us aggregate of 1000. The second one will be AB, which is equal to BA, which is equal to 650. And then we have the last one, which is BB. Okay, BB, which is equal to 200. So this is our ranking based on aggregate from highest to lowest. Okay, so this means that if both players decide to go for AA, on aggregate, these guys will have 1000. If they decide to go for either AB or BA, both will have a 650 on aggregate. BB, then they'll have a 200 on aggregate. Okay. How is this so far, Madam Sharp? How is it going? Okay. Alright, so that's based on aggregate. Okay. And then there is this question E, which is saying, can the outcome with the highest aggregate payoff be sustained in equilibrium? Why or why not? So, to rephrase the question, can we have a Nash equilibrium from the strategy that is having highest payoffs? And from our ranking, we know that the strategy with highest payoff is actually AA. So the question is, can AA be Nash equilibrium? So this now causes us to go back to the definition of Nash equilibrium. Remember, we say that Nash equilibrium is it's a point where no player can maximize his payoffs by unilaterally changing his strategy. Right? So no player can maximize his payoffs by unilaterally changing his strategy. So the question is, if both player 1 and player 2 decide to use the strategy with the highest payoffs. In short, is AA going to be Nash? Okay, is AA going to be Nash? So we know that if AA is indeed Nash equilibrium, okay, if AA is indeed Nash equilibrium, then if these players are there 500, neither player 1 nor player 2 can have that propensity to change his strategy. Okay, in short, if indeed 500 is Nash, player 1 will have no propensity to change his strategy. Player 2 will also have no propensity to change his strategy. Now check this out. If we are at 500, which is AA, assuming that player 2 decides to go for A, but player 1 is trying to change his strategy. He wants to change his strategy, hoping that he can make more, he can actually realize more payoffs. The biggest question is, can player 1 indeed maximize his payoffs if he decides to change his strategy? The answer is yes, because if initially player 1 was going for A and then he's trying to change from A to B so that he can maximize his profit, well, if that happens, given that player 2 is still maintaining A, and now player 1 is trying to change his strategy from A to B, well, the two will be meeting there 650,0. So player 1 will actually be earning 650 and player 2 will be earning a 0. You see that? So this therefore means that AA cannot be Nash, because we have already seen that player 1 can actually maximize his payoffs by unilaterally changing his strategy. Even if player 2 is still sticking to A, player 1 can actually, make more profit by changing his strategy from A to B. Meaning that AA cannot be Nash. Because from what we discussed last time, when you're at the Nash equilibrium, there is no desire for you to change your strategy, because your profits are, or your payoffs are maximized at that particular point. So there's no need for you to change your strategy. You'd rather stay there and not go anywhere else. In short, you stick to that particular strategy. You stick to that particular strategy regardless of the strategy that has been adopted by your friend. How is the concept? Mr. Mson, welcome back. You're welcome. How is it going so far? Where? Right now. That is now. No. It can't work like that. I didn't know. My apologies. Had I known, I'd have pushed the session, because Yeah, you cannot have, you can't have divided attention. You see that? Um, what do we do? Should we carry on? Let me hear from you. Okay, okay, okay. All right then. Yeah. So, practically, what we've done this far is what is usually discussed under game theory, largely. Okay. Yeah. So, just to make sure that the concept is okay. Remember what we agreed last time. We said that we are going to branch off to assignment 3 and also answer that question with game theory, right? So let me just try to load the page for assignment 3. So there's that kind of question for game theory. Okay. Kindly confirm if you can see this. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so there's this question, which is game theory from assignment 3. Okay, game theory from assignment 3. So this one is just practically just the same concept, same everything, only that maybe the question has been phrased in a different way. Okay, otherwise it's just the same thing. Okay, question 4. So we have this game here. Okay, we have this game here. Express this game in a normal form. So remember that the normal form, it's that kind of box. Yeah, it's that kind of box. Yeah, so this time around we have got 2 players as usual. In this case we have an entrant and an incumbent. Okay, and then the entrant has got 2 options. Okay, the entrant has got 2 options. It's either so he can either enter or go out. Now what do we mean? We mean the market. Okay, so an entrant is the newcomer, the incumbent is that guy who's been there. Okay, so we've got a newcomer and the big guy. So an entrant is that guy, the new guy who is trying to enter the market. So he can either enter or exit the market, go out of the market. Okay, yeah, he can either enter or leave the market. The incumbent, on the other hand, can either go hard on the entrant or go soft on the entrant. Now what do we mean? What we mean is that, remember, we have got the entrant. This guy has got 2 possible strategies. It's either to enter or to exit the market. given that the guy has entered, the entrant has entered the market, the incumbent can then react to this. He can either go hard on the entrant. By going hard, it means making maybe the business environment a bit hard for the entrant, so that the entrant can be frustrated and at the end of the day leaving the market. Or the incumbent can go soft by creating an enabling environment for the entrant to operate. All right, so that is the situation at hand right now. Right, so what we want is to express this this game in a normal form. Okay, so let's do just that. Okay, let's do just that. So what we know is that from this, what we know is that if the entrant enters the market, the incumbent, so given that the entrant has entered the market and then the incumbent goes hard on the entrant, then the entrant will lose. No wonder we've got -1 there. So always remember in this case that the first number is for the entrant, the second number is for the incumbent. Okay, so the first number is for the entrant, the last number is for the incumbent. So the -1,1 is telling us that given that the entrant has entered the market and the incumbent has gone hard on the entrant, then just give me a second. So given that the entrant has entered the market and the incumbent has gone hard on the entrant, then the entrant will lose. No wonder the payoffs they are negative. Okay, so the entrant will end up losing. It's okay like that. So the entrant will end up losing. Okay, but the incumbent will win. Okay, because it's more like by going hard on the entrant, this guy is just frustrating the competitor, making sure that the competitor ends up leaving the market. Okay, and the other way around, given that the entrant has entered the market and the incumbent decides to go soft, then both will end up winning. Okay, so they'll have payoffs of 5,5. So 5 for each. 5 for the entrant, 5 for the incumbent. Okay, so that is with the first case. And of course the last case there is just a case where the guy stays out of the market. It's obvious that the payoffs will be 0,10, which means that the entrant gets nothing and the incumbent gets everything, because it's more like now the incumbent has got the whole market to himself. Okay, so that is what we are seeing here. That is what we are seeing here. Now the question at hand is expressing this as a normal form. The target here is expressing this as a normal form. Okay, can we express this as a normal form? Yes, we can. Okay, but is the concept clear so far in terms of the concept behind, or the logic behind the question? Is it okay? Is it only her, or maybe everyone else had, just, did I cut at some point? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm saying I'm using the same internet. I'm not using this. I'm using the same internet for the chat. Okay. Yeah. So let's put this as a normal game. Yeah. So we know that it's the same matrix. Oh, it's the same matrix, just like previously. Only that the language has now changed a bit. Okay. Or actually, let's use the same three. So we have got that. Yeah. So we know here we can put the incumbent on top, and here we can put the entrant. Two possible strategies are open to the entrant: either to enter or stay out of the market. For the incumbent, he has got two options: going hard or going soft on the entrant. You see that? So we've been told that given that the entrant has entered the market, right, and the incumbent decides to go hard, so it's enter hard. You see that? So the entrant enters. Let me use the red. So the entrant enters, the incumbent decides to go hard, so they'll be meeting there. Okay, they'll be meeting in that box there. Okay, and we know that if that is the case, then the payoffs will be -1 and a 1. So in there we're going to put -1 and a 1 as the payoffs. Okay, so those will be that will be the payoffs entry. Okay, the other way around. Okay, the other way around is a case where the entrant has entered the market and the incumbent decides to go soft. Okay, so it's a case where we are moving like that. The entrant has entered, the incumbent decides to go soft. The payoffs are 5,5. Okay, so we've got 5,5. So it's a case where the entrant has entered, the incumbent decides to go soft. So they'll be meeting there where the two lines are crossing. Okay, right? So that's a 5,5. In short, both of them will win. The incumbent will win and the entrant will also win. But practically, in the practical world, how possible is this? Where you let your competitor operate. Well, yeah, it is very much possible, because we know that sometimes, as let's say if you're running a business, it's good to let your competitor. It's good for you to have competition, because maybe that is when you're going to have to work on your efficiency. You become more efficient. Yeah, you work on the quality of the products. At the end of the day, both of you end up winning. And most importantly, if you are accommodating if you're accommodating your competitor, at the end of the day, it's not really about competition. You may end up sharing some ideas. Okay, so maybe the new guy is coming with new technology that can, maybe you can agree to say, okay, give me some some ways how I can use this new technology, and then you, as the old guy, you can actually advise the younger one to say, okay, this is how we survive in the streets, this is how we survive in this particular business. So at the end of the day, both parties will end up winning. So that's the 5,5 where you're getting a draw. Both of you are winning. But the hard case is a case where this guy just decides to stay out of the market. So that is, it's obvious that if this guy is out of the market, then it's going to get a 0. So that's 0, and the incumbent to have the whole market to himself. And the same case applies to the other entry to still be 0,10. Why? Because this guy is out of the market. So we have those entries there. Okay, we have those entries there. So this, hi, no, it's okay, it's okay. 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 Okay, that's fine, sir. Let me do just that. Okay, so remember, we have two players, the entrant and the incumbent, right? So the incumbent is already in the market, on the market, and his reaction will depend on the action taken by the entrant. If the entrant decides to enter the market, then the incumbent is going to react. In short, the first mover is the entrant. Remember last time we talked about the first mover and the second mover, the leader and the follower. So it is only after the entrant has entered the market that the incumbent is going to react. Okay, and now the reaction of the incumbent, in short, the incumbent has got two possible reactions, right? He can either go hard or go soft on the entrant. Now, remember what we used to do under probability, conditional probability. It's when we are saying the probability of the incumbent reacting given that the entrant has reacted. You see that? So in this case, we are saying that given that the entrant has decided to enter the market, okay, so in short, it is that strategy there. Remember that this side we have the entrant, right? So this side we have the entrant, and last time we said that when putting the entries, moving from left to right, that is for the entrant, right? In this case, moving from top to down, that is the incumbent. Okay, so that's more like a hint that may end up helping you to do the to put the entries in the matrix. So moving from left to right, that's for the entrant. And in this case, we're saying that given that the entrant has decided to enter the market, so that is the strategy that has been picked or adopted by the entrant to enter. So to enter means that he's somewhere in that within those boxes there. Okay, so the entrant has entered. Now, given that the entrant has entered, the incumbent has got two possible choices. He can either go hard or soft on the entrant. In short, he can either make the conditions hard for the entrant or making the conditions soft for the entrant. Okay. Now, in the first case, you're saying that the entrant has entered. Okay. Then the incumbent decides to go hard. So the payoffs in such a case will be -1 and a 1. So the entrant has entered, and then the incumbent decides to go hard. So it's that kind of movement. So the two will intersect in that box there, meaning that in that particular box is where we're going to put the payoffs, -1 and +1. Okay, so this means that given that the entrant has entered and the incumbent decides to go hard, the two will meet there, and this will be the payoff entry. Okay, that would be the payoff entry. Okay. Are you okay, sir, with how we've entered the -1, 1? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So, and then the other way around is a case where the entrant has entered, but then the incumbent decides to go soft. So, of course, the payoffs will be 5,5. So, the entrant has entered, the incumbent decides to go soft, they will meet in that box there, which is 5,5. Okay, so we have got 5,5 in there. Okay, and then the other case is the case where the where the entrant decides to stay out of the market, and then the big guy will be getting the whole market to himself. So it's 0,10 in all cases because the guy is out. So there is no need anyway for the incumbent to go hard or soft because he's alone on the market. So in that case, there's 0,10. Okay, carry on. I can hear that the mic is on. Carry on. Someone's mic was on. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the thing is, yeah. So the thing is, okay, that's fine. So since the okay, yeah, so since the entrant has decided to stay out of the market, right? Yeah, so since the entrant has decided to stay out of the market, then it's obvious that the incumbent will have the whole market to himself. You see that? So practically there is no need for him to go hard, soft, whatever, because you are alone in the market. You have the whole market to yourself. So the entrant, it's obvious that the fact that he's not in the market, he's going to be getting nothing. And the fact that now the incumbent is alone, he'll be getting everything. So no wonder the entry there is equal to the entry there, because the incumbent is alone in the market. Okay, does that answer the question, sir? You are welcome, sir. You are welcome. Okay. Any questions this far? Any other questions? Okay, I see none. Okay, so we can move to B. So yeah, so remember, when it comes to, just be careful when coming up with a matrix, because the moment you miss one, you're going to chances are so high that everything is just going to collapse. Your analysis, your conclusions will just collapse because you've entered one entry wrongly. You see that? So just be extra careful. Just be extra careful when putting the entries. Okay, but of course practice makes it perfect, so do more. Practice more. Then B, given the above game, identify the Nash equilibrium and the sub-game perfect equilibria. So in short, to rephrase the question, can we identify the Nash equilibrium from here? Okay, can we identify the Nash equilibrium from here? So it goes back to the definition. So it goes back to the definition of Nash. Okay, it goes back to the definition of Nash. So Nash is, a condition where when you are there is no propensity, there's no desire for you to move away from that particular point, right? Yeah, there's no desire for you to move out of that particular point. Okay. Can we identify the Nash equilibrium? Yes, we can. Let's check. Let's try with a case where the entrant. Let's try with a case where the entrant enters, okay, and the incumbent accommodates. Yeah, the incumbent goes soft. Let's see what happens. So it's a case where the entrant enters. In case like you're saying enter comma soft, right, which is giving us 5,5. Let's start with this first. We see. Remember what we said last time. It's always, Nash always holds. In most cases, it will hold where there is draw. Yeah, it always hold where there is. Let me remove the word always, but yeah, in most cases, it will hold where there is a draw. So we usually start with draws. So in this case, the only draw that is here is a 5,5. No wonder we are starting with a 5,5 because that is where the draw is. You go with 5, I go with 5, so that's a draw. Okay. Yeah. So can we analyze this? Yeah. So assuming that we are operating from there, okay, where we have got 5,5. Is it possible for the entrant, for instance, to leave the market, hoping that after leaving the market, he's going to be better off? The answer is no. Why? Because if initially we are in the market and you were accommodated, okay, you were in the market and you were accommodated, you are able to go home with 5, right? Yeah. You are able to go home with a 5, and then you decide to exit the market, to leave the market. Well, if the entrant decides to leave the market, he's going to be getting a 0. So there's no desire for the entrant to leave the market, given that initially he was accommodated. There's no desire for this guy to leave the market. Okay? Another way around. Assuming that initially these guys were at 5,5, can the incumbent change his strategy from soft to hard so that he can have more payoffs? The answer is a big no. Why? Because if this guy tries to change his strategy from soft to hard, given that the entrant is already in the market, alright, the guy will move from earning a 5 to only earning a 1. And the incumbent can never do that, because we exist to make profit. So why would I change from a strategy that was helping me to maximize my profit to a strategy that is going to minimize my profit? What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that the Nash is there and is 5,5, where the entrant enters and the incumbent accommodates. Okay, you allow the entrant to operate in the market. Both parties will win. Okay, both parties will win. There are things you'll be getting from the entrant. The entrant will also be getting some things from you. So both parties will end up winning. So the Nash is there. Yes, the Nash is there, and that is a situation where the entrant enters the market and then the incumbent accommodates. He goes soft on the incumbent, because going hard is just going to force the incumbent to start making to start realizing a 1 compared to a 5. So he would rather stick to the 5 than getting a 1. Okay, how is this so far? Is it okay? Is it okay? How is it, Mr. Nchemunya? Okay, that's good. That's a good report. That's a very good report, Mr. Msonda. I know you are not there when we were discussing the first part. Okay, that's good. That's really good. That's really good. Okay. Oh. Okay. That's good, Madam Juzia. Okay, so yeah. So this is about game theory. It's not even that difficult. It's not that difficult. The moment we get those two terms, we know what to do here, what to do there. It's not even that difficult per se. Yeah, it's not difficult. Okay. The time is 12 past 9. Is the research class still there? Mr. Chipinda? Oh. Okay, so what we can do is we can close the chapter, especially when it comes to game theory. We can close the chapter from here. Then come tomorrow, we'll be talking about something totally different from this. So my suggestion is let me this is it.